The Syrian Civil War, hidden agendas, rising extremism, and global consequences. Welcome to Taylor's Insights, where every video is curated with care and presented exclusively for you. Why does the Syrian Civil War matter to you, me, and the entire world? As the Assad regime teeters on the brink of collapse, we are reminded of history's cautionary tales about the dangers posed by power vacuums. Extremist groups such as Al-Qaeda and ISIS are resurging, while global superpowers, like the US, Russia, and Turkey, engage in high-stakes geopolitical chess. But beneath these strategic maneuvers, human lives are paying the ultimate price. Is Syria the mirror of lessons unlearned, or a new battleground for global consequences? The Assad regime is crumbling. Rebel groups are inching toward Damascus, but who are these rebels? Many cloak themselves in the guise of freedom fighters to gain global sympathy, yet they often consist of groups linked to ISIS and Al-Qaeda. Even Turkish President Erdogan, often critical of Assad, treads cautiously, emphasizing the extremist risks in Syria's advancing forces. The storm over Syria is catastrophic, and its effects will ripple far beyond the Middle East. Let's revisit the 1980s. The U.S. funneled arms and funds to the Afghan Mujahideen to counter Soviet power. Among them were the seeds of Al-Qaeda, nurtured in the pursuit of short-term gains. Decades later, history threatens to repeat itself in Syria. Western powers back certain opposition groups to undermine Russia and Assad. But how many of these allies are truly moderate? The Syrian Civil War is a stage for global actors, each cloaked in self-interest. The U.S. claims democracy building but really aims to diminish Russian and Iranian influence. Turkey seeks border security but turns a blind eye to extremist groups it cannot fully control. For Russia, Assad's survival ensures its foothold in the Middle East. Together, these forces transform Syria into a battlefield of competing power. The stakes, however, are human lives. When leadership collapses with no stable alternative, extremists thrive. Post-1990s Afghanistan became a hub for terrorism. Today, Syria's instability risks following the same trajectory, with groups like ISIS and Al-Qaeda regrouping, ready to unleash global terror. They've already left blood-stained trails across Europe, South Asia, and the U.S. Remember, 9/11s, claiming nearly 3,000 lives, was born out of such unchecked extremism. The Syrian Civil War is not an isolated issue. It's a global crisis. As citizens, we must demand transparency and challenge the motives behind our leaders' interventions. What are the long-term effects of their actions? Who benefits from this chaos? Learning from past mistakes and advocating long-term stability must supersede short-term geopolitical wins. The fall of the Assad regime might seem like the end of tyranny, but without international cooperation for stabilization, it's the prologue to another nightmare. Extremism knows no borders, and it spares no one. The future rests in our hands. Will we demand accountability and action, or will we let history tragically repeat itself? If you valued these insights, subscribe, like, and share to raise awareness. Let's keep the conversation alive.